What's up, Meta Nerds? This video is all about the TIE Defender. It was manufactured by Sinar Fleet Systems, the same company that brought us all the other TIEs, and would live on as Sinar Jameis to produce the TIE fighters for the First Order. At 300,000 credits each, the Defender was 5 times the cost of a TIE fighter, and twice the cost of a T-65 X-Wing. But you definitely got what you paid for, with a top speed of 1,680 km per hour, or 1,044 miles per hour. This was the fastest variant of TIE fighters, and was about twice as fast as the TIE Bomber, and was even 380 km per hour faster than the A-Wing Interceptor. With a maneuverability rating of 110, it was slightly more maneuverable than the TIE Interceptor, and noticeably more than the ARC-170. At 9.2 meters, or 30 feet long, it was 1.5 times the length of your standard TIE fighter, and about half a Jawa shorter than the TIE Interceptor. It was equipped with deflector shields, and a Class 2 hyperdrive, and you even had the option to add a tractor beam. It also had a very impressive armament, with a pair of laser cannons built into each wing. 4 of them were LS 9.3 laser cannons, the same that were on the TIE Interceptor, and this top wing had a pair of medium ion cannons. Attached to the cockpit were its 2 general-purpose warhead launchers that carried a total of either 8 concussion missiles or 6 proton torpedoes. But interestingly, despite the 300,000 credit price tag, it still didn't have any life support, and pilots were required to wear the bulky TIE Pilot flight suit. But this could come in handy in case the pilot had to eject. By having this additional solar array wing, the TIE Defender was able to collect more energy than your TIE Fighter, and was able to use this to energize the shields, keep up the onboard systems, and ionize the radioactive gas inside of the highly advanced solar ionization reactor, which was able to propel ions through its twin ion engine at a rate which created more thrust than any other ship in the TIE series. And remember, it was also extremely maneuverable due to these small jets, which are located towards the inside of the wing, and help the TIE Defender to quickly change its direction. The Defender was designed to be able to carry out missions that normally required 4 TIE fighters, and was made in reaction to the success of the X-Wing. TIE Defender pilots were selected from elite TIE Interceptor pilots, who had survived at least 20 combat missions. The handling of the TIE Defender was very unique, and so they would start with just flying in different patterns, then running combat simulations, before they would be deployed against real targets. When deployed, they would often stay in groups of 4, which in theory should have gave them the same mission capabilities of 16 TIE fighters. The TIE Defender proved so successful that pilots realized that they weren't just phasing out the interceptors, that were even taking over some of the roles that would normally be carried out by assault gunboats. Due to their impressive armament and their hyperdrive capabilities, TIE fighters could patrol enormous areas of the galaxy without requiring additional support from a capital ship. This meant that the TIE Defender could carry out longer and more effective missions than any TIE variant that came before it. And because of its general-purpose warhead launchers, these could be used to completely level smaller rebel outposts. Now, the canon and legends history of this ship greatly contradict each other, so let's go ahead and start with the canon history of the TIE Defender. Production of these start in the year 2 BBY, upon the initiative of Grand Admiral Thrawn, who thought that the war against the rebels would be won by improving the small details, like the efficiency of their starfighters. Production started on an Imperial factory on the planet Lothal, though the starfighter schematics were stolen by the Spectres. The first prototype TIE Defender that was used was during a mission to capture Mon Mothma, who the Empire knew was siding with the Rebellion. The TIE Defender was assisted by 2 TIE Interceptors, and Thrawn's new prototype quickly proved its effectiveness by taking out 3 Y-Wing starfighters. When the crew of the Ghost tried to lose them by flying into a nebula, the TIE Interceptors were burnt up in this extreme temperature, but the TIE Defender was able to make it through, and was only stopped once it was disabled by an ion cannon. In the year 1 BBY, a new prototype was produced, the TIE Defender Elite, which was almost identical except for some upgraded engines and a more advanced targeting computer, and it swapped out its ion cannons so that it could have 6 laser cannons in total. When one of these was stolen by Ezra, they eventually had to crash the ship, but were able to remove its hyperdrive and the flight data recorder. The hyperdrive was just to help them get off of Lothal, but the flight data recorder was used by the Rebel Alliance to try and find any weaknesses in this new ship. We know that at least some of them were used during the Battle of Jakku, and that when building TIE fighters for the First Order, Sinar made sure to incorporate some of their technology into the TIE SF and the TIE VN, also known as the TIE Silencer. Now in Legends, the prototype of this was called the TIE ADX-7, but this was more to just test out the dynamics of the ship and see how the targeting system would work with the addition of this extra wing. This project was mostly promoted by a man named Grand Admiral Zarin, and in 3 ABY, these prototypes were used against Renegade Squadron during the Rebels' escape from Hoth. Palpatine was impressed and wanted these new TIEs to be developed further, and tasked Zarin with creating the finalized versions, bringing to development both the TIE Defender and the TIE Avenger. The real trick was to get a hyperdrive that could be mass-produced and still be small enough to fit into a TIE variant. The answer came in the innovative hyperdrive tech that was being produced by the Habine species. Rebels were unsuccessful in their attempts to intercept the completed Defenders that were being delivered to Coruscant. When Palpatine saw this finalized product in action, Zarin was highly praised, making other high-ranking Navy officials despise him, a mixture of jealousy and the fact that it went against the philosophy of using overwhelming amounts of cheap fighters. This animosity eventually came to a head when Zarin tried to assassinate Palpatine using squadrons of these fighters in an attempted coup. This was stopped by Vader and other loyal forces. When he realized things weren't going according to plan, he resolved to at least prevent any Defenders from staying in Imperial hands, and was nearly successful in destroying the main manufacturing plant. But it would be Thrawn who was successful in getting these remaining Defenders safely to their destination in Coruscant. Now on cleanup, the Empire worked to destroy the other Defenders that fell into the hands of different pirates, and finally tracked Zarin down to the unknown regions. Even after the fall of the Empire, the TIE Defender would live on in the Imperial Remnant for at least another 44 years, and was even used in the fight against the Yuuzhan Vong. So that's it for the TIE Defender, and the only behind the scenes facts are that it was originally introduced in the 1994 LucasArts video game, Star Wars TIE Fighter, and later made appearances in different video games, as well as a whole bunch of different role-playing games, and of course made its way back into canon via the Rebels TV show. So that's it for the TIE Defender. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you want to check out our social media, or ways that you can help support this channel, be sure to check out the description down below. If you want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you get notifications. But more important than all that, Canon or Legends, Thrawn's always the smartest guy in the room, and the Force will be with you, always.